in the locker room.
The officiating crew: Doug Shows, Vern Harris, that's Vern with an E, and Patrick Driscoll. Taken by Valentine for the Spartans. And here is the freshman from the Bahamas, Lou Rawls Tum Tum Nairn Jr. Yes, there is a story.
Good activity. They're going to run their offensive man-to-man against this zone, which makes there'll be screens up high against the top guys whenever they can, and they'll look to flash into the middle of the post. 6
on the shot clock. Valentine closely guarded by Blackshear. Runner. Loose ball, shot clock violation.
Yep.
Never did hit the rim.
Right, got to the glass, but missed it going to the right side. And yeah, the defense comes right out for Louisville the other night against NC State. Their first possession, the same type of problem, recognizing what should be easy to recognize. It's a matchup man-to-man zone.
There's Rozier giving it off to the only senior, Wayne Blackshear. Montrezl Harrell, who's on the floor, is a junior, but he has already announced his intention to head for the NBA. Blackshear, jumper. Nope. Dawson with a rebound.
Well, balance is so important.
Here's Tum Tum, wants to run. Valentine wants to shoot. Misses the rim.
Well, one of the ways to attack that matchup zone is to get down the floor in a hurry and beat it down there, but I don't think Tom Izzo wants that kind of quick shot.
Here's Harrell. And the freshman, Quentin Snyder. Hometown lad, he is from Louisville.
Good
Entry
switch.
pass, Blackshear, you bet. Well, if you're keeping count, that's the 290th dunk.
And it was a beauty, too. A nice little slip cut. And a slip cut basically is when you come up to try to set a screen, a little token screen, and you just slip to the basket before you have a pick and roll opportunity.
Well, I got my nines mixed up. It's 219.
Okay.
Give me an over, will you?
He and I combined for 219 career dunks. So watch the little move. He comes up, you see the fake, and then there's the slip right there to the basket. Sometimes there's full screens, sometimes there's fake screens, and that's kind of in the fake territory right there to get the defenders thinking about you.
Entry pass. Gavin Schilling bumped by Snyder as he goes up. Rozier wants it, gets it. Beautiful feature on Terry Rozier, his mom and his sister on the pregame show back in New York.
It sure was. It was very well done, and what a story for him.
Jumper, Rozier. Dawson tips it to Tum Tum Nairn. Trice finds Dawson. Slow start for Michigan State.
Yeah, we a little shocked that they're both playing tough defense.
No, there's a turnover. See if that went against Snyder. I think it did. Trice for 3, and it won't fall for him. That's an unusual element in this NCAA tournament. There you go.
Yeah, he keeps coming back at you. There's no question about that. Trice 7 of 14 from the floor the other night, 24 points, and how about his 4 for 9 from the 3? So he keeps the pressure on, Vern, and that's what they're going to do. Quick shots on the break, or if there are offensive rebounds, kick it out. That's when you generally get the best three-point shot.
Snyder looks inside. Here's Harrell guarded by Schilling.
We got to double team him.
Goes baseline. Another turnover.
Watch them spread the floor, too, on their break.
Trice. Entry pass, tipped. Now shot into the corner. Back inside. Oh, they're missing from close range.
Exactly. Well, they're contested, too. And Valentine and Rozier, a nice matchup. See if Rozier can time it and go by him a little bit with the ball.
Snyder starting his 9th game. Got the starting spot for the first time here in Syracuse when Chris Jones was suspended for 1 game. That's a double dribble.
Yeah, little bobble.
And Snyder relinquished that starting spot to Chris Jones, but then subsequently on the 22nd of February, Jones dismissed from the team and faces felony charges of rape, and Snyder in his place has provided a steady presence.
Yeah, and you look, the record is much better on that graphic too, but he's passed the ball. The scoring down a touch but overall the ball keeps hopping a little bit more when he's on the floor.
Here's Trice with a rebound. 3-on-3. Trice, and he's fouled as he gets inside the arc.
So Vern, Michigan State right now has a couple of substitutes on the floor, and you know, you and I spoke about this before the game in terms of the minutes played by Louisville's team the other night. They condensed it to basically 6 guys played the bulk of their minutes. Michigan State went a little deeper, so we'll see if that plays into it. These guys are young guys as Louisville comes out with a nice trap.
And Trice gets it back. There's a try for 3 from Forbes. Bryn Forbes, native of Lansing. He and Valentine played for Valentine's father, Carlton, at Sexton High School, and then Forbes spent his first 2 years at Cleveland State.
And ironically, another broken play to get one of their better looks.
Blackshear. Valentine out defending him. High screen and a foul called way. I think they got Costello for something.
Yeah, this is after the broken play too again, and Forbes gets a nice stroke. Only 1 for 4 the other night from three-point line.
And the foul was called on Costello, and Tom Izzo's. Oh, he's such fun to watch. and he said, "I'll get out of here." 6-4, Spartans. Trice on Snyder. Oh, beautiful pass. Little bounce into the middle, and that one into the hands of Mango Methiang, a sophomore, mentioned the other night, born in Sudan, but his family immigrated to Melbourne, Australia, and then he came here for prep school. Valentine off the front rim.
Good
At the other end, Montrez. That's 221 dunks.
Yeah, and that's almost like a tight end going after that basketball. Do you see where the hands extended to strip it away from the defender? And then forget about trying to stop him going to the basket.
There we go. Costello finds Valentine off the glass for 2.
Good interior pass, and Costello gives them good activity also. Occasionally release of the basketball, but he's got his hands filled with Harrell on the other side. They go to the blocks.
Here's Rozier.
They're trying to get it to him on the blocks again, which is not a bad idea.
And Costello playing in 3 quarters, now gets behind him.
There's the help.
And there came a little swipe from Forbes, but doesn't matter.
No, he shoots at about 2 or 3 jumpers a game. Vernon, the other night, he shot the ball twice, I believe it was, from about 12 to 15 feet and put both of them down.
Valentine. Whoa.
That's what the rim's there for.
If you shoot it softly enough. Yes.
You get it to die on the rim, you take it.
Tied at 10. Rozier. Little floater, too short. Nice tip by Methiang. And here's Quentin Snyder. Tries to get by Forbes, back outside to Harrell. That is for 2, and it's no good. Spin move. Oh! Terrific. So terrific that Rick Pitino wants to chat with his lads.
Yes, sometimes you make that spin move and there's a big guy waiting for you. Watch how quickly he releases this over Mathiang before the big guy can get up.
Good game. I don't see him running as hard as I do. Well, Harrell, one of the joys of getting involved in this tournament, nice pass underneath. A foul and 1. The foul is on Valentine, and that's going to send Blackshear to the line.
A little over-the-top action, if you will. Baseline cut is open. That's a tough pass, but he makes it. And unfortunately for Valentine, because he gets that ball and it's caught by Blackshear, there's nothing he can do but reach to try to deflect the basketball.
Blackshear, 4 consecutive Sweet 16s, and now his 3rd Final 8.
And here's some full court pressure.
That was Rozier. Back outside. Whoa. Over and back.
Yep. Well, Tom Izzo's team worked on breaking the press yesterday, and Here's that trap full court. It hits them again at half court and right outside the three-point stripe, and they toss it back without a deflection. So the correct call.
That is already the third turnover for Michigan State. They won against Oklahoma, but turning it over only 5 times here on Friday night. Alvin Ellis III, a sophomore, is on for Michigan State. There's Harrell.
Vern, that was a terrific move from no man's land just then. Once again, allowing the full court action, get to the middle of the floor.
Pressure, tried to go reverse, and a foul is called. That was Tum-Tum.
So watch how he gets in trouble here, but uses the left pivot foot, which is perfectly legal, to continue to rotate around as much as possible. So he goes from what he's trying to do there is he's trying to reverse on the right side of the basket. That got closed down and went away from it for a little spin move.
There's a bonus. A young man who is averaging 44% for the year. This is the worst free throw shooting team in 20 years for Tom Izzo. Now, the ironic thing about that is they secured the victory over Oklahoma with Trice and Valentine hitting 6 in a row.
Who ironically are their best free throw shooters.
Yes.
So get the ball to them if it's close.
Well, we'll develop that as it plays into this game. Jumper, Rozier. Dawson, another rebound. Right side. Schilling on the feed.
And that is exactly what Michigan State wants to do. Get the glass and get it and go. As few dribbles as possible to beat that matchup zone down the floor. Louisville leaning towards them. It goes the other way.
Harrell's off to a great start. Here's Blackshear. Turns the corner. Short. The rebound. Chased down by Tum-Tum Nairn Jr. Trice. Pull-up jumper. He is something.
He's got that deadly look on it. The eyes just then piercing, aren't they, in terms of the ability to break your knees and ankles at the same time and step back.
Well, I mentioned one of the fun things for all of us is to get to meet some of these young men. And we spent time yesterday with Travis Trice and Brendan Dawson, Valentine, along with Montrezl Harrell and Terry Rozier.
And all very impressive young men. No question about that from both sides.
Trice.
Right.
Yeah. Schilling tries. Can't save it. Nairn is back. Here's Rozier. Whoa. That was either Trice or Ellis. I'm not sure. At the other end, Dawson. Offense.
Great activity both ways on that Rozier play. Vern, they may have looked at our open and did their scouting report, right? Because they know exactly what he's looking to do. And when they get the basketball, what are they trying to do? Kick it down the floor. Dawson leads. Nice look. Fill it up. Fill the middle of the floor.
To a 2-point play instead of 3. So the score, 18-17. Here's Rozier. That's Anton Gill. Traveling. Anton Gill, #1, had a huge presence in the win the other night. 7 minutes, 7 points. And that was when Blackshear got in trouble. #1, Anton Gill. Rick Pitino filled with praise for a young man who getting an unexpected opportunity and coming through in such a big way. Here's Tum-Tum. So named by his mother after a character in a movie called The Three Ninjas, and it obviously stuck.
Yep, not a good shot there by Dawson. Double teamed. You got to kick that one away.
Harrell off to a quick start, 6 of 7 from the field. Rest of the team 3 of 10. Here's Gill. Nice drive. Short. Dawson with another rebound. Trice. Gill gets behind him. The trailer, Ellis, drives it. Fouled. And he's a 45% free throw shooter. Tired of hearing about the same sports headlines on repeat? Get everything about your favorite teams and get it all first. Download the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report.
We've seen a couple of changes with Michigan State. They come down the floor in a hurry trying to look for the shot. Louisville reacts and comes to the perimeter. That's a perfect time, as we just saw, to go by a guy, show him the ball, fake him out, and try to get to the basket. So Tom Izzo is going to make adjustments on the fly, and you can bet that Rick Pitino is going to do the same thing as this game progresses.
1 of 2. Valentine back on, and he will replace the sophomore, Alvin Ellis III.
You know, both of these coaches will try to get their starters and 6 men a little bit of a breather here and there, but expect most of these starters to go 35 minutes or so.
Onawaku is on the floor now, number 32. Provides a large presence. How about that?
Yeah, Rozier got hung up just a little bit. I think he believes that he can get his shot off over the shorter Nairn. Hasn't been able to get many opportunities as the press bothers Michigan State.
Two of the stars on this team, Valentine and Trice, and another turnover. That's 6 already for the Spartans. Now here's Shaquan Aaron on the floor, traveling.
Yep. Shuffled just a little bit. And even though it's a turnover, Tom Izzo not happy at all with the defensive effort there. That's a layup if you don't shuffle your feet.
So Aaron sees minimal minutes, less than 1. And Blackshear's back on the floor. The press again. That's Snyder on Trice. Freshman on a senior.
When they're not double teaming Vern, you just take the ball up one-on-one. These two guards, Trice and Nairn, have to be able to dribble the ball up one-on-one, but keep their eye out for the double teams and the traps.
Nairn. Valentine. Arrow flies at him, but he cans the 3.
So when your guard drives to the middle of the floor, you have to get to a spot that makes it easier for him to see you, and Valentine does it perfectly. Comes from the left wing and fills a spot that Nairn leaves open for him. Great work, terrific assist. Backdoor cut.
Rozier cans the basket. Nairn picks up the foul.
You got to give him the space to shoot it because you don't want him on the blocks, and you have to double team him or at least run a second to flick at him.
Terry Rozier, free throw. That's a 3-point play. And we are tied at 22.
And Rozier 1 of 5, Vern, but he's streaky. So now that he's seen the ball go through the hoop, watch for him to be a little bit more active, possibly.
Ellis on the floor. Costello, Dawson got it.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Rozier got caught in the middle of the lane defensively in their matchup. And he recognized that he was going to the right wing, and he realized that he had to fill the middle of the floor, and Michigan State just picked that one apart.
Snyder, left side, Blackshear. Harold wants it.
And you got to get it to him. Yeah. What are they going to do, though, with him?
Well, Costello bumps him, leaves Blackshear open for a 3.
Smart basketball. Harold is just doing everything correct so far, Vern. He even could have forced a shot in the middle of the lane just then, but kicks it out.
Trice, pick and roll.
I think the Michigan State guards have to try to go by people on the perimeter.
Costello just a little too strong. With the shot, here's Rozier. He had 14 rebounds the other night from a guard spot.
Fabulous. You know, he wants the basketball. He learned as a young kid playing trick games that you have to go after the basketball.
What did he say? He played 33?
33, a variation of 21.
Okay.
The old guys would call that 21. just basically a couple of man game where you have some fun and go after the offensive rebounds.
Blackshear in and out, rebound, good.
Well, if Blackshear is shooting it, the other two are just parked on the offensive glass. Good time for a double along the sideline. Good work.
And Rozier can't quite get there. Here's Trice at the other end. Spot up three, Ellis. Rebound. Onuaku. Here's Snyder wanting to run. Oh, brother.
Fern, was that Snyder doing a Rozier imitation?
It was. There's a trap in the backcourt again. 5-point Louisville lead. Trice. Chinanu Onuaku.
Well, from a guard perspective, Snyder reading it. You see, Trice never can get his positioning from a defensive standpoint. He can't lock in and stop him. And look at Snyder doing a little Rozier. That's what we saw Rozier do the last game, Vern. He was terrific on his defensive rebounds. As you mentioned, he had the 14, and a lot of them he took it and went down by himself. Really one-on-one, 2 or 3. It didn't matter.
Team fouls are 4 and 4.
That's a good catch in traffic.
Yes.
Showing.
Oh, tough one there. Out of control until that shot.
That, I will tell you for sure, wasn't their best offensive set until that shot. That was a scramble if for anything else. Wow, was that a kind of a nightmare set to come away with a long one?
That stopped 7 in a row.
Look at the read.
Tip by, look at Harrell, and look at the bodies fall. And they've got Blackshear and Clark, and the foul will be called on Rozier.
So take another look. Trice keeps giving these officials a little trouble, sliding his feet up. And that one looks like a clear 3 by at least a couple of inches. So they may take a look at that, but that's not going to be a problem.
Montrezl Harrell will take it in.
Good retreat here by Rozier.
Bryn Forbes, there's a long 3. That one rattles down for Wayne Blackshear.
As he's just been playing steady basketball over the last 6 or 7 games. Very, very consistent. Gives them a lift on the glass, the offensive end when they need it.
Marvin Clark, got it. That's a 3 with an answer.
Well, that's his scouting report. He can step away and shoot the long ball. Louisville falling asleep on their scouting report, letting the shooters shoot uncontested jumpers.
Patino's out complaining about something at the scoring table. Here's Blackshear again. Now Patino decides, okay, everything's fine. No, he's yelling at the official. And there's another basket.
All right, does Trice ever challenge him? We've seen him pull up on the break for the 3, but occasionally comes right at people. May have extended that left arm a touch into the big guy. Nice pace to this game right now.
.4:10 to go. First half. Blackshear. Tipped.
Look up.
At the other end, Valentine, he didn't see him.
Yep, didn't see him. Valentine just cheated out on that, too.
Valentine.
Did it. And they're starting to screen up high a little better.
Oh, wow.
Here we go.
Watch out. I love that. I just love that. Up and under.
And Vern, those are the turnovers that are the costly ones in a game like this. When you anticipate and you almost tip the ball in the direction of where you want to go with your own basket, it gives you a head start in running it out, and really no one's going to catch him anyway.
But instead of going for the highlight reel,
right,
he went for the makeable shot. You know, I mean, not that a slam dunk is not. And that's going to be on Valentine, I believe. That's his second. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. During the timeout, there was a review, and a decision was made. We now know why Rick Pitino was at the scorer's table. Lower left, 4:46. They took 27 seconds off the clock. So we now play with 2:45 to go in the first half. Oh, Rozier got Trice in the air.
He sure did.
Methiang is back out there trying to set a screen. Instead, it's rejected, but before that was a foul call.
Only 50% from the line on the season, so get ready to block out. Good stroke.
Yeah. Alvin Ellis, the sophomore number 3, is back on the floor for the Spartans. And Methiang shoots one more. One of 2. That's seasonal average.
There you go.
And let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. I've been able to just get a good view of Izzo's huddles, and his intensity has been off the charts, and the players' intensity as well. They're all chipping in. Coach once told us that he believes a players' coach team is better than a coach-coach team, so they're all very interactive in there. But what he's really concerned about is the fact that they're just giving up easy layups, and they're not using their transition offense to their advantage.
The points in the paint have been really significantly in favor of Louisville.
Absolutely, and here's Izzo making it happen in terms of getting in everybody's face. Trice is a leader on this team, so he can react to it.
Well, Travis Trice told us yesterday, you know, he does listen to us. It's not a one-way street.
But I'm not so sure that's the time to be speaking to him.
Good pernt. 1:45 to go before the break. And this Louisville team has had problems scoring all year long, but when they get it inside as often as they have today, it's been significant in establishing their lead. Here's Trice. Forbes.
Well, they're trying to get the shot off before that matchup sets up, but they're not hitting their outside shots. Sooner or later, you're going to have to get into that half court and try to drive into people and challenge them.
Rozier, pull-up jumper. Tipped out. Rozier. Snyder.
Mike Bray's Notre Dame team thought they had it figured out for about, what, 38 minutes or so? And give Kentucky and John Calipari credit. Some big shots, free throws by the Harrison twins. And defensively, Cauley Stein making a nice play at the end. Not allowing a 3 to go up by Grant.
And the winner of this one will go on to take on either Duke or Gonzaga. That game coming up later this afternoon on CBS from Houston. 0 for 2 for the freshman Quentin Snyder. And 1 minute to go first half.
Vern, I know this is the last type of possession, but watch how much time they're spending. Well, they're going to call a timeout. They're spending on the perimeter, making passes. They're really not that active against Pitino's matchup zone.
53.4. Yep. And I saw that UConn slight advantage over Texas.
They wanted the buzzer, I think.
Yeah, they did. 100 to 54. Been a tough week at Texas.
Wow. If somebody's going to drive it, you have to eventually drive it at this. That's not going to cut it.
No.
Fall-away jumpers are not going to cut it against that defense.
Brandon Dawson with that miss. 30 seconds to go. Look at this. 94 straight wins when leading by 6 or more at the half. They'll play for the final shot. There's a barely significant margin between game clock, shot clock. Rozier rejected. Dawson off the glass and good. Trice.
Well, the drive to the basket doesn't go, but look at the offensive work. A little two-handed tap there by Johnson. Nice finish.
Allie is with Rick Pitino.
Coach, 20 of your first 29 points came in the paint. How important was establishing that inside game?
Well, for not a great shooting team, it's crucial. One of the reasons the last 3 weeks we're playing so well is our paint touches. We keep concentrating on defensively. We're confusing and we're getting some turnovers. But they are the toughest team we've had to face to choreograph our defense with because they shoot it so deep. We got them to take a couple of shots that I would pull my guys out for 2 weeks if they took.
Yeah, you mentioned the threes. They have 5 of them, but most of them were contested.
And the shot, look, you got to give him credit. A young man made a shot with 2 guys challenge on him. You got to give him credit for making the shot.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Vern, is that energy level And he mentioned this to us also. He said, you know, if you lose a game, don't lose because you didn't put your energy on the floor and put your all-out effort out there. So I would imagine in the next 4 or 5 minutes, you'll see a great effort by Michigan State. Now, do they cut into the lead? Who knows? But the effort should help them a little bit.
Here's Snyder, guarded by Trice. And Blackshear with a very effective first half.
And so they know they need to clamp down and get a couple quick stops here against Louisville.
That's going to be Louisville ball. Turnovers, 8 turnovers today already. And Trice with 10 points. Rozier kicks it out, 5 on the shot clock. And Methiang got it but couldn't keep it. No numbers here. Trice. I bet they run the half-court set here. What do you think?
They better.
Yeah, they better.
They better. I think they're going to see some screens, high screens, and you're going to see. Here comes the first one. Yeah, the first one right there.
And underneath to Dawson, and Dawson has it rejected.
So that's, I think, what Tom Izzo wanted to do a little bit in the first half. But watch this high screen, Bert. What it is, it's you play a man-to-man, so he comes across to here, and you notice now it turns into a 2-on-1 as he turns the corner.
Outlet pass to Valentine.
So I think you're going to see more of that in that man-to-man look, a lot of motion, and setting screens for one another.
Tum Nairn Jr. They dump it in the middle.
There's Dawson.
Yep. Brandon Dawson, the off enigmatic forward. And sometimes he's been known to disappear. But not now. Yeah,
and the one thing, too, if you think about it, the last game against Oklahoma, he did not have a great first half, but then had a very, very good second half. So hopefully, from a Michigan State standpoint, Tom Izzo is saying, let's hope he can charge it up and get the energy going.
We talked to Brandon Dawson yesterday and to Tom Izzo about him, and he told us that at practice, he said to Dawson, well, my yelling at you hasn't worked, so let's try a softer approach. And he got a blackboard out, and he wrote very deliberately, did Tom Izzo, Brandon, will you please work hard?
There you go. Looks like he had that same blackboard.
Yeah. Fade away. Arrow in and out. Dawson with a rebound.
Okay, so you get a little step in.
Gosh.
Oh, did Rozier ever bait them into that one? He was headed towards half court and came back in a hurry. Terrific defensive play.
Trice sheds him. Put back, no. Tipped out. Here's Rozier for the Cardinals.
And Dawson had an opportunity on that follow-up, too, that he just missed.
Rozier. Snyder gets it inside. Double comes on Harrell. And a foul is called. That's going to send Harrell to the foul line.
And so from a guard's perspective, Vern, part of this is you want to pretend that you're heading to half court, and then you just slow down just a little bit and hope your hand comes flying out, at least stops the ball, deflects it. And well done by Rozier.
Harrell shoots 2. Matt Costello's going to come on and replace Gavin Schilling. Well, the big men.
Yeah, Harrell just started out strongly, 6 of 8, big numbers, and Dawson. I'm believing that he's not going to go away, and if he doesn't perform well statistically, I think the effort is going to be there. He was right on that offensive glass, just couldn't get the putback. So all of a sudden, Louisville misses a couple of shots. If not for that Rozier steal, I think the momentum would have shifted.
Here's Nairn all the way, dishes back, and Costello gets it outside to Valentine.
I like the way they're challenging, though. Twice in a row now we've seen Trice and Nairn go towards the basket against the bigs.
Here's the freshman again. Lou Rawls, Tum Nairn.
Upstairs.
Yes!
Such a tricky shot, but you have to go upstairs in a hurry to go over the bigs. And Tom Izzo has made an adjustment at half halftime, driving it to the middle of the floor.
Rozier loses it, and then Harrell puts it on the front rim.
Gotta watch from behind.
Yep. Methiang made the pass at it, and Valentine got rid of it. He's at zone again. Well,
at the half court, they haven't been able to break it down. There you go. Pretty.
Yep, Costello.
Valentine with a dandy, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
That was magic like.
Yes, it was. Well, let's take one more look, Jim Spanarkel, at the last play.
And watch Costello along the baseline. It's him over here. And watch, I hate to say this, Vern, but it's 6'9", 245. You have to sneak around a little bit, and that's what he did. He was sneaking down, hide himself behind the set on the baseline, pretend you're not involved, and all of a sudden you get a great pass from Valentine to finish it off.
And we've got a three-point game now, approaching the 16-minute mark. Snyder, Rozier, Methiang, Harrell on the floor, along with Blackshear. Look at Valentine fight through that pick.
They're getting over every screen now. Look at them. They're fighting it. They're helping one another.
Under 10, Harrell missed again. Snyder tips it or loses control. Here comes Michigan State. Valentine back to Costello.
There's no question, Vern, that the change of direction has been to the basket for Michigan State. Nice adjustment by their team on the fly. Well, your master's experience that you can help with my golf game.
Oh, yeah. Me and Charles Barkley. Let's go to Allie LaForce.
How am I supposed to follow that up?
Sorry.
In all seriousness, Coach Pitino was not happy with his team, specifically on offense. He looked at Harrell right in the eye and he said, will you do me a favor? When you go to set a screen, will you please roll to the basket after? He then looked at Blackshear and said, why are you driving it into the basket and playing one-on-one basketball? Is that our team? He doesn't like challenge shots. He wants them to get the offense moving.
And Allie, there was a good example right there, as you mentioned, get the offense moving. Rick Pitino's team comes down and throws a little backdoor action into it. They catch Michigan State coming strong with their defense and just misses here with the extension. But well diagrammed in terms of getting down the floor and getting into a set. Both of these teams are trying to do the same thing, Vern. They're trying to just challenge at the offensive end from this point on. Well,
Valentine called for the foul. That's his third, so a bit of a dilemma now for Tom Izzo.
And that was one of the concerns that Izzo mentioned to us, was the fact that he wants aggressive defense but without fouling. So it'll be interesting to see how they make up with that.
Blackshear hits two. Full court press.
Yes. Rozier looking to jump a little bit. Now's the time to go one-on-one until you see it coming at you.
Back outside to Tum Tum, Nairn Jr.
Yeah, remember, they don't have to worry about Nairn shooting the ball that much.
Right. Sets a screen.
Hello. Well, we touched on it right at the end of the first half. If you're not driving it to the middle of the floor, you're never going to beat that matchup. And they have really made some terrific adjustments. A little dive to the middle, and you go over the top. Gets Louisville thinking a little bit. Size advantage here down low.
Blackshear fouled. Bryn Forbes, number 5.
The alley-oop looks great here, though, but Trice, look at how much room he has to dictate what he wants to do. He gets himself into the paint, and he has a little chance there for a little 12-foot floater if he wants it, a little pass up top, or even a bounce pass to get that done.
Blackshear. And one more. Well, Travis Trice. His family drove all the way from Columbus, Ohio to Syracuse. His father's high school team, Wayne High School, Huber Heights, Ohio. That's his dad to the left. They won the state championship in their classification last night, and the family is here. Trice.
You see where they've parked Dawson now, right in the middle of the floor.
He's back out. Trice sets the screen. Dawson sets the screen. Spin move. Dawson. Way up. Here comes Snyder for the Cardinals. No numbers here. Louisville by 3. Rozier.
And Rozier against Costello. There you go. It's a good matchup.
Dishes it, gets it back. Blackshear hit. And a foul. I think we're going to have 3 free throws coming.
Yep, I think you're right. You see, Costello was out of position to begin with Rozier, and Rozier got him to go up with this fake. And then he comes out again out of position. Good call. He runs over a shooter. You have to let him land.
76% for the season for Wayne Blackshear. Second team All-Academic All-American is Blackshear. That group chosen by the College Sports Information Directors Association.
In the last 4 or 5 games, he's been going double digits or better.
Third Cardinal player to ever play in 3 Elite Eights. Milt Wagner played in 4 back in the 80s. Rodney McRae played in 3, and his brother Scooter McRae was on that team but was injured. Here comes Nairn. Trice, 1 touch. Forbes, yeah, beautiful.
Well, you're not kidding, it was beautiful, Vern. That was just well designed with the extra pass. It was like the hockey pass from Trice. Nairn gets it to him. They blast it around. This 3-guard offense is very quick going down the floor in transition.
Snyder, guarded by Trice. There's the switch on Blackshear. Snyder again turns the corner. Blocked by Dawson. Loose ball. Nairn, Trice.
Good hesitation.
Foul on Blackshear.
How about Nairn using the size to his advantage? At about 5'10", that rebound was off the floor. And the small guy has to go down and make himself even shorter to get that off the floor. Now watch the block here, but more importantly, watch what happens when it gets down. Where's the little guy? He's got to get it off the ground like that little scoop in baseball, pick it up and go with it.
Blackshear heads to the bench. That's his 3rd foul, and Anton Gill on the line. Or rather,
this is up
on the
grabs.
floor. Yep. Forbes. That was Harrell, large body and all.
It was
almost. Oh my gosh.
It was up by the dome, wasn't it? That ball.
Dawson.
Dawson's got to be more aggressive if he catches it there.
Trice.
That's going to be on the floor.
Yep.
And I think Rick is getting a little frustrated because guys are going by people out front.
2 wonderful games yesterday. Kentucky and Wisconsin advancing to the Final Four. The winner of this one will go down to Indianapolis, or across to Indianapolis, I guess we should say. And either Duke or Gonzaga will contest them. 13:26 to go in this ball game. Trice.
Good play.
Yes, it was. Heads up.
And you know, Vern, getting the ball inbounds and going to the direct corner just then, clearly you don't have any space to go. Now, Rick Pitino loves it when people do that, because then this is even a difficult entry pass, but you're closed in by the sidelines and sometimes even to the baseline. It's like 2 extra defenders on you.
And there's a whistle.
Need to back Harold off a little bit.
Harold. I'm just noticing something unusual on the Michigan State bench. One of the coaches, Mike Garland, here we go, is sitting in the middle of the bench. You see Garland? Most of the coaches sit near the head coach.
Yep.
Mike said he likes to go down because he can really coach during the game from that position.
Yeah, what you can do there too is the head coach is always the tough guy, right? The bad cop when something's going wrong. You can get a coach in the middle of the bench there and be the good cop to bring a kid back and say, don't worry about it.
That's going to be another foul on Messier. And I just saw something over on the side. Tum Tum was in the chest of Trice, freshman to senior.
Wow.
Poking him in the chest.
That's the type of leader he is.
Yep.
Little bounce there.
Draymond Green, a wonderful player from Michigan State, said earlier this year, if ever Izzo was going to select a freshman captain, it would be Tum Tum there. Jumper. Nope. Oh, over the top.
I wonder who hit that, though. Oh, a couple of hands. I think there were 2 sets of Michigan State hands and 1 Louisville hand. Let's see who gets a piece of it.
Rick Pitino saying, Doug, Doug. Doug pointed at Vern Harris, said he made the call. Leave me alone.
That's it. Not me. Got to get it in a little faster, Michigan State. Careful. He catches it there and touches back. That's backcourt.
Yeah.
He can let that ball go across half court and go back and get it. Probably exactly where you don't want to catch the ball, Vern.
Here's Nairn.
Oh, no call. He was looking for one.
Yes, he was. Snyder. Jumper for three. No. Trice for the rebound. He's got Nairn left side. There's Nairn underneath. Foul. He's going to go to the line. Something?
I have nothing. I emptied the tank on the humor.
Okay. Here's Nairn. His grandfather was a huge Lou Rawls fan, so he named him Lou Rawls Nairn Jr. His mother nicknamed him Tum Tum after the Three Ninjas movie. His mother is named Mona Lisa McKinney.
Beautiful. Captures it all. He's got to capture a free throw right now for Michigan State.
Got it. 1 of 2.
Only 52% on the year, so he gets his number there at least to get one.
Jalen Johnson, number 10. Nice.
Oh,
boy, that was. Brandon Dawson.
Yep, stepped out.
Terrific defensive move.
You know, it's pretty clear to sense what's going on defensively, too, with Michigan State. They're hedging, they're jumping. Good call in terms of the jump out. But don't you get the feeling that Michigan State is playing like this is the NCAA tournament? If you lose, you go home. That sense of urgency for the first 10 minutes has been, or 8 minutes, I should say, has just been very clear that the message got through.
David Levitch, a sophomore, number 23, picked up a quick foul. He's been on the court for less than 10 seconds. Time call, 11:59 to go. Winner goes to Indy.
12th. And it's amazing that those two coaches have done a remarkable job at their respective schools, and you can't think but to think that's going to be a great one also after this one, which is the way Michigan State came out here in the second half have changed this around.
Tip saved by Methiang. Underneath, swatted. Swatted.
Gill gave Louisville 2 good plays the last game, and now he's trying to give them a little life off the bench, but Michigan State's defense has really picked up a notch.
Brandon Dawson with the block. Well, let's see how aggressive an example for Michigan State in this half.
Well, it's the aggressive play. You see Dawson getting some touches in the middle of the floor, but really I think all of them have decided, let's go towards the basket as much as we can as a team. Now, if Louisville makes a change and an adjustment and squeezes the middle of the floor, gets 2 and 3 players in the middle, then you have to kick it out. But until they do that, keep driving it.
Look at the shooting in the second half. Michigan State 46%.
That's a good no call right there, too.
And Louisville reverting to form. They have not been a good shooting team this year, but they were excellent in the first half here.
And remember when Ali spoke with Rick Pitino at the half, what did he say? You know, for a team that doesn't shoot it that well, we have to keep getting it into the middle of the floor, the blocks. And that's where Harrell was so effective to begin this game.
Steal, Rozier. Dawson goes back. Oh! Has to be careful.
Rozier is just so good on the break.
And Dawson and Forbes having a conversation as they come back offensively.
You got to forget about that. Make the next play if you're Michigan State.
Dawson with the screen.
So he's trying to screen, Vern. He's also trying to keep a defender on his back so he can catch the ball in the paint.
Rozier almost got it again. And Methiang takes it away. A little nervous moment now for Michigan State, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. They seem a little rattled. If they score right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Izzo call a quick timeout.
Harrell wants it. Hit 6 of his first 7. Number 24 hasn't been that effective offensively. There's a hard screen set by Methiang. And a foul before the shot was taken.
So defensively, look at Rozier. Now watch him jump from looking at it to our left as he goes after the defender on the break. Very, very good at understanding how to throw his body at a defender, even though he did not get there quick enough for a call.
Valentine back playing with 3 fouls. Schilling just picked up his 3rd. And Costello looks like he's getting ready to come back in. Brandon Dawson's getting a rest, and so is the freshman guard, Tum Nairn. Under 10 to go. And a 4-point Louisville lead. Anton Gill, tough shot, contested. Soft hook, front rim, and a shove. Less than a month, and I appreciate the fact very much that someone has gotten our attention. Or something. It, by the way, has been great working with you.
Thank you, same here. It's been a pleasure. A lot of fun, too, and I love the way you get close games, too.
I've had it the other way, trust me.
We all have. They are a whole lot of fun when you get close ones, though, aren't they?
Oh, boy. Gavin Schilling at the line.
He's only 46% on the year. If he can snag another one of these, that's a huge, huge plus for Michigan State, isn't it?
Gavin Schilling, 46%. He's 4 of 4 this afternoon.
And that was a royal welcome coming over to the bench just then.
Now, Mike Garland, we were talking about coaching. Mike Garland is up. He's coaching in the middle of that bench area for the Spartans. Rozier.
Nice work by Trice defensively. The guards are playing well. They can't get by him from Louisville's perspective. They're trying to drive it a little bit themselves.
Harrell. Here comes Snyder. 10 on the shot clock. Forbes, good job. And a little too strong. A chance for a tie or the lead.
So 2 styles. The Michigan State straight up man-to-man. Their perimeter guys are doing a pretty good job. Louisville at the matchup. Not bad either. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yes, it was. Costello. And we're tied for the first time since it was 19 all.
Trice with his 5th assist just then, too. A little diagonal.
Harrell missed again. Costello was a defensive presence then.
Sure was, and 3 green shirts defensively.
Michigan State on top.
Well, Forbes shot it at 43% on the season. Does he ever know how to run the floor? So defensively, here's that little diagonal. Catch it, don't come down quickly with it. And then on the run they go. Watch this reaction.
Tom Izzo in his 20th year as the head coach at Michigan State. Look at this sign. January, February, Izzo, April and May.
Very, very nice. Where does Tom get the time to print up his own signs?
Well, we've documented his friendship with Steve Mariucci.
Yep.
Update on that. The Mariucci, Steve and Gail watched Friday night's game in the middle of the Yangtze River in China.
Now they're showing off, right?
Yeah, I know. I think they are too. 2 of 15 in this half from the field for the Cardinals. Forbes, Valentine, whips it out. What a pass! What a shot!
Fern, how about the difference? We saw one diagonal from the outside inside. Now we see another diagonal the same way, but going inside out.
Rozier, no. Rebound, Costello.
They rebound in the basketball and getting it up the court. Nice look here.
Forbes drives. There's a big presence there. Onuaku.
And I'd get that one back out and reload.
Yep. Let's do.
Yep. Look at Izzo. Izzo's out there doing the same thing. Slow this one down. We don't have anything. Bring it back out.
10 unanswered for the Spartans. Valentine. No. Oh, and Tom Izzo is looking at Valentine like, what? Get him out of there.
Why? Valentine's hoping he makes a good defensive play right now.
Yeah, because he's going to get the hook.
Yeah.
Schilling is coming on.
Yeah, it's a touch. Haven't seen this guy touch the ball that much on the blocks.
Harrell.
There you go.
No basket. Foul calls.
Well, when in trouble, scooted out. Look at this, the catch. Boy, he couldn't, his eyes were just like waiting for it.
I invite you to take a look at the third line on the right side. 2 for 16 in this half for the Cardinals. And the rebounding edge, Jim, has been really significant for Michigan State.
Big time. They're +7 in the second half rebounding. Michigan State, we've noticed they've gotten all the defensive rebounds. That has allowed them, Vern, to go up the court in a hurry, and their guards are spreading the floor looking for those shots. So, you'll see Louisville make their adjustments. Don't be surprised to see Louisville come up with a little bit of their trap, full court, change it up a little bit. I know Rick Pitino mentioned to us depth is a reason that he hasn't been able to do that often, but look for some changes.
Harrell. 1-1. Oh, that was ugly.
Yeah.
And there was Valentine. He did not get the hook. He's still on the floor. And let's let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. Coach Izzo spent most of the huddle drawing up exactly what Michigan State needs to do defensively against trick plays that Louisville is going to run.
That was no trick play. That was just an aggressive steal by Rozier, and he's had several in this ball game.
He has, and Valentine with 3 fouls made a good decision, I think, to get away from him.
Here's Trice.
Rozier has to be careful there.
Valentine backs out. There are the 2 high school teammates, 45 and 5. Oh, yes. Valentine.
You may have noticed, Vern, that the matchup is coming a little further out to the perimeter, and that means that's going to be more of a one-on-one opportunity, an easier way to break your guy down off the dribble, just like Valentine did.
Trice on Rozier. Crossover. No. Yes, no. Again. And again. And Harrell, who was 6 out of his first 7, cannot buy one from in close in this half.
So when he's struggling, that doesn't mean his energy level, his enthusiasm wanes at all. Now he has to go to the line and hit a couple here.
On the floor now, Costello and Brandon Dawson from Michigan State replacing Schilling, who just picked up his 4th, and Marvin Clark Jr.
Izzo is jockeying on the sidelines now to get his team in a position where he'll get the guys he wants to finish this game back on the floor for about the 4-minute mark or so. Pitino's depth may come into play here down the stretch, or I should say lack of depth.
Lack of depth, yeah. There's Rozier.
Look at how far out this matchup has come now, Vern. Easier to drive by people.
Trice, pump fake, shot for 3, no. Rebound, Methiang.
Good work on the glass.
And only a 4-point game.
Pretty big hoop in possession right here for Louisville, just to get some offensive rhythm back. They saw the couple of free throws go down, but the buckets.
Great anticipation underneath. Dawson. And here's Trice for Michigan State. Under 5 to go. Winner goes to Indianapolis. And the final 4. Brandon Dawson out on the perimeter. Costello is in the post. Trice. Rozier grabs it. Not so sure about that shot.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Rozier taken away, touch last by Michigan State. Now let's check foul trouble. Schilling, Costello, and Valentine. Methiang and Blackshear both with 3 for Louisville.
Pretty much not a factor there, except for the one with the 4. This time in the game, nearing the 4-minute mark.
Snyder, Harrell, little weave. Blackshear.
See, Harrell's catching the ball 17 feet away. They don't want that.
Rozier with the drive. The tip, and Valentine. Here's Trice at the other end. Oh gosh.
See, Vern, I was just going to say, you know, when we're talking about the fouling situation, now you play it straight out. Blackshear has 3 fouls here, but what does he say? I can't give up a bucket there. I gotta put a foul up on the board and go after it. I'm not so sure that's a clean block.
59-55, Travis Trice about to go to the line. How have they gotten this lead?
Well, they've rebounded the ball well, and also look at them with the man-to-man offense. They're moving without the basketball, not stationary against the zone-type look, and this is one of the ways you can beat it. You get a little slip cut to the basket, and Dawson finished that one off.
Travis Trice is going to go to the line. Blackshear picked up his 4th foul. Trice, first time at the line tonight. He hit 6 of 6 down the stretch in the win over Oklahoma.
And what Rick Pitino is kind of guessing, or betting on, I should say, is that Blackshear is a senior. Rick has got to believe that he's a senior. He's been around a long time. Hopefully he'll play smart down the stretch over the next 2 minutes and avoid that 5th foul. If it were a younger player, you might see him on the bench for a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Ice for Trice. 6-point Michigan State lead. Rozier, Blackshear, the freshman Snyder, Methiang, and Montrezl Harrell, who was 0 for 5 in this half. Here's Blackshear turning the corner. Costello fouled him and one.
That's why he leaves him on the floor. Rick Pitino, good call to leave him on the floor. And let the vet do his thing. Watch how he tucks this ball away, too, just for a fraction to get Costello to swing first, and then he goes under it. That is a real tough play going to the basket, because what happened on top, too, Vern, the motion away from the ball allowed Blackshear to take a big old loop from the top of the key and around the screens.
I bet he cut himself. Is there blood?
Must be, I would think.
I would think so. So Blackshear, what a terrific move that was. And now, oh, there you are.
Well,
here's the dilemma for Tom Izzo. His 2 biggest guys, Costello and Schilling, both with 4. Remember how he rotated them the other night over Oklahoma?
Yep, absolutely. So he uses them as one body, if you will.
Let's check in with Allie.
He just seems to have some blood markings on his jersey, so he can't technically play if those are still present. They tried to scrub him out. They're still pretty visible, but it looks like they're going to try to put him back out on the court.
Now, they are visible.
Well, you know he's not leaving by his choice.
No. Now what?
Yeah, he must be bleeding from the nose again every time he kind of puts his head straight up.
Blackshear with 4 fouls, and Doug Shows or Patrick Driscoll coming over to chat with Tom Izzo, and the substitution is going to come on. And we're being told about the substitution. Avar Dillon on to shoot the free throw. 61-58.
It's only taken 2 free throws on the year, Vern.
Yes,
for 2.
And he's out there, number 4. And let me correct it. It's Dylan Avar. Spin move. No! Costello missed it. Harrell caused the miss. Timeout, Louisville.
And with all due respect to Avar, that's why they're calling the timeout, to get Blackshear back in the game. Here comes the big sweeper. Does he get it to go? No, it's challenged.
Methiang, Rozier.
Oh, jump ball.
Hill ball. Possession arrow, Michigan State.
The small guys have to get the ball around the waist before it's a shot. The big guys block them above the head. The little guys try to get it waist high. Terrific defensive effort.
Brandon Dawson is going to inbound. Under 3 to go. Winner goes to Indianapolis. Joining Kentucky, Wisconsin, and the winner of Duke Gonzaga. Valentine. Oh! What a shot.
It sure was. He once again put that left arm up to give him a little bit of room. Well, close to a travel there, but he picked it up, Harold.
Rozier. Trice defensively, lit position.
Get something going.
Snyder turns the corner. Forbes. That one's missed.
And Costello's going to get that little bump down that end, Vern. And Tom Izzo watching his guys on the other end. And Valentine with just a beautiful drive to the basket. Let's see, does he get that left arm out there? Yeah, he doesn't really extend it much. Good no call from the officials.
And then Costello got the cheapie at the other end, and he's got to go to the bench, fouled out with 6 points. .221 to go. Louisville, by the way, with 1 timeout remaining. And Tom Izzo with a minute now to make the decision on who comes in. I think it's, well, Schilling is still on the bench. So it's going to be Marvin Clark Jr., a 6'6" freshman, number 0. And that's a 10th team foul on Michigan State. Double bonus, Harrell.
And remember, Clark's a shooter from long range, too. In case they have a little wild scramble at the other end of the floor, he's a space-out shooter.
Harrell is now 2 for 6 at the line in this game.
And he's missed a couple just about grazing the front of the rim. And you know, this one's going to be, you know, what's going through your mind now as a shooter. You want to make the front rim, so you're going to miss this. If he misses it, he missed long. Well, he gets it to drop.
And it's a 4-point game. 2:20 to go. Here's Trice, guarded by Rozier. Let's see who's on the floor now. Forbes, Dawson, Valentine, and Clark. That's for Michigan State.
And probably the biggest defensive play here that Louisville can make in this set.
That one's rejected. Offensive shot clock by Trice. No. Look at the offensive board, but Valentine can't hold on.
Watch him in the break.
Blackshear for 3.
A huge pass burned by Rozier to find him in the open floor. Blackshear fighting off that nose injury with the blood.
Timeout. Michigan State.
And they're trying to get the numbers, get the basketball in the back, and watch the delay right on the side. That's a big-time shot.
And double bonus. Blackshear, brilliant game. 4 of 5 from 3.
You can really feel the fans in here, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
So can the players.
High screen set by Clark.
Trying to get something going in the middle.
Valentine.
Great tip.
How about Rozier? At the other end, here's Blackshear. Rejected, but...
Yeah, I don't think they're getting that call on the goaltend. They'll get the foul. How about Rick Pitino's decision to keep Blackshear in this game with the 4th foul with the 4-minute mark or so? You got to really tip your hat. And how about this? Climb up the right side of a right-handed shooter. You get a little deflection. If he goes on the left side, he doesn't get that. There's the bump initially. I like the effort by Trice to block it, but that was not a goaltending call.
Among other things, Trice is a perfect 9 for 9 at the free throw line. We're tied. This is for a Louisville lead. Whoa. Met Blackshear at the line is perfect.
Yep, 10 of 10. And I like the fact that Louisville's not backing off. They've gotten that little rhythm defensively. Don't lay back, be aggressive in it. There's that help out of the matchup. And watch Clark, he's a shooter for Michigan State.
Less than a minute. High screen set by Clark.
You got to make a decision to go. 10 seconds.
Valentine guarded by Montrell.
No place to go.
Underneath, Clark. Got it! Banked it in!
And Louisville has plenty of time here. Just be patient. Don't be afraid to go right to the basket once you get that screen.
Rozier. Jumper contested.
Who wants it?
Careful.
Well, let's see what they call out of that mess in there. I think Mathiang may have been over the top.
Clark, the last man up. They still haven't given us an indication.
You know how important this one is here. This is you win or you go home. I think Clark's going to be shooting, right?
Foul is on Mathiang, the 6'10" who was a rugby player in his youth. He's still in his youth. Another look.
Yeah, that's a good call. You take a look at the takedown, but I think the call is even before the takedown. It's right there, and then the follow-through brings him down, but that call wasn't on the follow-through. That was up high and coming down before that. See, right now, he's hitting him, arm around the neck, and then it's a takedown.
Well, now Doug Shows and Patrick Driscoll are taking a look.
I mean, if they're taking a look for a flagrant, Vern, I just don't see it there. You know, I know you don't make judgments when the game is in play, but if it was at the 10-minute mark, you might look at this. But this is, I think these guys are just going after it. In my opinion, I'd let that play out right there.
Here's the definition of a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. Common foul. And Clark will shoot 2.
Yep.
Yes, right call.
That's absolutely the correct call, the right call. Well, how big was that rebound, though, huh?
Well, you said it. Who wants it? And here is Marvin Clark, the 6'6" freshman, shooting 2.
74% on the year. Strategy-wise, obviously, first thing you think about is blocking out. You assume that it's a miss if you're Louisville.
0 for 2.
And get it down the court in a hurry and go to the basket with it as quickly as you can. And Michigan State's going to try to help out.
And Louisville uses its last timeout.
Couldn't ask for a better game.
Well, at the moment, it was Marvin Clark's bank shot that gave Michigan State the lead.
And could have been a little hesitation in the shift of the feet going to the basket right there, thinking that the shot might be blocked, but there's a guy who shoots the ball from long range, getting a huge bucket.
Now, who do you want taking the last shot for Louisville, if it's the last shot?
First of all, Vern, I would not settle for the last shot. At 12 seconds, I want to get this shot up before 7 seconds. I want to get some action going to the basket. They have guards that can break people down. They got to watch for the jumps. The Michigan State will try to jump and veer them left to right. But if you're a guard, Rozier, if you're Snyder, try to get some action going to the basket first. Get a look to the lane, maybe a little floater. If not, then you kick it out. But I want this shot to be at around 7 seconds. If you miss, you have a chance to either go up for the offensive rebound, and if they get it, you foul them.
And another reminder of the free throw troubles that have befuddled Michigan State this year. And you just saw Clark miss 2. They hit 6 clutch free throws down the stretch. That man helped him, Travis Trice. But now he's on as a defender. And who's going to inbound? it will be Wayne Blackshear.
And also look for the dump downs, Vern. You know, you get the guards coming around the corner to go up for a shot, maybe a dump down to a Harold on the blocks. Final four on the line. You can't get any better from an NCAA tournament standpoint right here.
Blackshear will inbound. He wants to get it into Harrell's hands, and Montrezl Harrell has it. Here's Rozier, guarded by Trice. No tip. Methiang. Oh. No, but he's fouled with 3.2 left.
50% free throw shooter, Vern, going to the line in one of the biggest spots of his life. And there was the drive. You knew it had to go up. It goes up right around 7 seconds. It gives you opportunities to go on the glass and make things work. And here he never gets it off the shoulder cleanly. That allows the ball to kind of roll to our right, looking at it, his left, because he, just see how that ball, Vern, got pinned on his shoulder just for a second? Didn't allow him to get a clean catch to put it back in. So a big break there for Michigan State. You know, watch for the little bit of a fumble. It's not much. But here he comes down. He gets the ball. Watch it on his shoulder. You see it on his shoulder? He doesn't get it, and then he has to spin it back. And that's why the ball hits the rim and spins to his left. It's kind of like a mini curveball in baseball. He doesn't get the good spin because he never got the ball in his hand to finish it off.
And they are going to reset the clock to 4.9 seconds. That's Doug Shows with the explanation.
Remember, Vern, the scorekeeper is manually taking care of the clock today. It's because in the second half, the officials' technology did not work.
Methiang shoots 2, the first for the tie. 50% on the year.
Oh, you can't make that up. Whoa.
Surely you jest. Surely you jest.
And Tom Izzo calling another timeout to freeze him a little bit, make him think about hitting the iron hard right there, and also setting up his challenge coming down the other way. What did I say before? That's why the rim's up there, my friend. Watch this. Oh!
Magic didn't like the bounce.
Yeah, Magic's reaction was great, but I thought Mathiang's was, I think they see the first part of that reaction. He said, oh no, oh, I'll take it.
He's got one more for a Louisville lead with 4.9 seconds to go.
So, make or miss right now. If they make it, Michigan State's going to come down in a hurry. Watch for Trice to have the basketball. Watch for Forbes flying down the floor. Got to block out if you're Michigan State right here. And if you're Louisville, if you miss this shot, you better be ready to play defense and keep the ball in front of you.
This for the lead.
Get it to your guard and go.
4 seconds. Trice pulls up from midcourt. Good if it goes. It doesn't go. But we're going to overtime.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Wow, what a finish. Pulls up a little short. He had one more dribble or two to get closer.
They're 2-5 in overtime games played this year. Louisville, only the second time they've gone to OT. They are 1-0. In the 5 minutes, Michigan State, 2 timeouts. They had one remaining when the clock went to 0-0, and Louisville gets 1.
Catch your breath.
Yeah.
We're not finished.
Trice.
This is almost like the feeling out process in a fight right now, isn't it? The heavyweights are just like, okay, let's take a breath ourselves.
Forbes. Beautiful. He's their best three-point shooter over the season.
And he just threw a early haymaker.
Here's Blackshear. Snyder, kind of a quiet presence today.
Gotta believe they want to touch Harrell down low. Yep.
Oh dear.
So they get the ball to the middle again. Shooters shoot, don't they? Beautifully done.
At the other end, Gavin Schilling called for the foul. That is his 5th. So Costello and Schilling both have to take a seat.
So Schilling at 6'9", Costello at 6'9".
We've got 2 men out for Michigan State. Clark, Forbes, and Valentine 3 apiece. Methiang and Blackshear 4 apiece for Louisville.
So what that tells you right there, Vern, is the guards not in foul trouble. Big guys have to play a little carefully. The guards can take some chances at both ends of the floor.
Harrell at the line shooting 2. Only 3 of 7 from the line today.
Now remember, a couple of his previous 2 hit the front iron, indicating a little tired legs possibly. Better mark there. He's only 59% on the season, Vern, so not a good free throw shooter, obviously statistically, but in this environment, even more difficult. There you go.
1 of 2.
See a little full court pressure here. Oh, Rozier was going.
Hello, yes he was.
He just missed it too. He tried to catch that on Valentine. Valentine pulled it back in time.
4 remaining. Screen set by Clark.
Michigan State really methodical right now.
Trice, there's Methiang. Trice, no.
They're not going to give him that call because he's jumping at the defender.
3 on the shot clock.
Nobody sees it.
No, Forbes didn't even know.
Yep, good call.
He didn't know.
The scramble in the corner confused everybody and you lose. Now keep in mind, Michigan State playing the methodical half court. They took all this time off the clock and now he's saying, okay, let's reload. Unfortunately, you don't have time to reload. Look at Blackshear.
Oh, that
beautifully blocked.
Yes, it was Valentine.
Wow.
Yes. Well, this looks like Michigan State's version of small ball. That was awfully quick.
One set, they take all the clock down. Next set, they come down with 5 seconds. Talk about changing it up. Let's see if Rozier can get something going to the hoop.
Little jump stop floater. Nope. Harrell with a rebound. Stripped. Here comes Michigan State. Clean strip of Harrell.
And I like that decision to put the brakes on. These guys were a little erratic. The last time was a quick shot. They turned it over with a shot clock violation. So Tom Izzo says, hey, let's slow this down and make sure we understand what we're trying to run.
High screen Clark. Trice back to Clark. Forbes will drive it. Fouled. He'll go to the free throw line, which has not been friendly to Michigan State today.
So here's the attack. He gets a little bump before. He's going to come up short with that shot, but that's a good call. Here, watch this, right on the hip. That's the foul. Comes up with the air ball. It doesn't matter. He goes to the line. And Izzo has an 80% shooter at the line.
Yes, exactly. That looked like an 80% shot. Looked like a 100% shot.
Yeah, for a team that shoots 63%, there's a good exchange right there.
Yes, that's right.
We're all in this together.
One more.
Wow. Who cheated? Somebody stepped in.
Maybe a shot clock violation. I mean, lane violation.
Yeah, somebody stepped in. Left
there it is.
Yeah. Yep, that's the violation. Good call from the officials. Now, this is a huge shot because it's a huge point. 2-possession game. Remember that one, Vern, if this is a one-pointer.
I thought the clock was slow getting started again.
Remember, that's over at the table. They're running the clock.
Blackshear. Here's Valentine with Rozier back. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a delay, somebody touching the ball. Action again at both ends of the floor. Blackshear turns, they get a hand on it, and the big guy just can't come down with it, but when he brings it down, little guys are stripping it waist high again.
Thinking back to the comment that Montrezl Harrell made calling out Dawson. And he said he didn't think Dawson could work as hard as he could. They get this one.
Well, Rozier not having one of his better shooting nights at 6 for 21. It's a big bucket. I like the fact that they can have Valentine handle the ball as a big guard, 6'5".
Turns the corner. Jump hook. Nope. Look at the rebound. Oh,
2 on
lost it.
Yeah, break if they hurry.
Snyder. Rozier for 3. Front rim. Harrell with a big board.
They don't need the outside shot right now.
Blackshear fouled.
Rozier was thinking right with that big ball fake, but then he released a quick shot. And Tom Izzo's guys giving up to Rick Pitino's guys the offensive glass. There's the quick shot right here. I'm not sure I really like that shot, but they go after the glass.
Blackshear perfect at the free throw line tonight. He's canned 11 of 11. Oh my gosh. Twice around the equator. Well, we've seen a couple of varieties of free throws made. Have we not? Less than a minute to go.
Trice, a pretty good free throw shooter.
He's at 70% for the year. Michigan State, timeout. 45.3 in the first overtime.
It's been just outstanding, 12 of 12 from the line. Louisville will play this out now with the differential on the shot clock. No need to foul.
Trice. Dawson. Into the corner. Forbes. Put back. Oh, what a beautiful shot. Brandon Dawson. What a terrific play.
Louisville has time, but they need to go to the basket again. Just because you're down 4 doesn't mean you have to settle for a long shot. Don't take so much time to do it, though. We're wasting a lot of time, Vern.
Blackshear. 15 seconds to go. Here's Snyder. Guarded by Forbes.
And a foul.
Fouled by Rozier. With 10.1 to go.
And it's easy for me to say over here to drive to the basket until you're being defended like Michigan State just defended. They did an outstanding job of not allowing penetration. And so here's that putback. You know what? Dawson's energy shows up again in the second half, the overtime. A terrific follow to shoot it while he's still in the air with a beautiful touch.
Travis Trice, 2 for 2 today. Well, those favorable bounces equally distributed.
They sure are. And down the floor in a hurry for Louisville right now with a 3.
One more for Trice. Family is here watching. He's been clutch. And Michigan State has been clutch. 15 of 20 from the line. 10.1 seconds remaining in overtime. And a 6-point margin. Here's Snyder. 5 seconds to go. Blackshear. Off the rim, put back. No good. Michigan State is headed to the Final Four.
Boom!